Hi, my name is Bibek Adhikari. I am your English instructor. In today's class, we are going to solve the writing portion of Unit 15, that is comparing past and present. So let's begin. We are now going to start the writing portion of Unit 15, that is comparing past and present. In this writing section, we are going to learn about writing from the memory. We are also going to learn about writing about the childhood days. We'll also learn about writing about past habits. And so we are going to learn about writing today, writing of Unit 15. And in this section, we will learn about writing from memory. So remembering everything from the past and writing it. We will also learn about writing about the childhood days. So it's something that we also do because writing is therapeutic if we do it that way. Another thing is writing about past habits. You may had, some of the past habits, some bad habits or maybe some good habits that you used to do in the past and you now no longer continue those habits. So writing about past habits is one way of reflecting upon, one's own progress, something like that. And the last is called writing an account of bygone days. What that means is it is all about writing about the days that are no more, days that are already gone. And you had lots and lots of experience within those days. And this is also about writing the experiences of those days. So it's mostly about memory, childhood days, past habits, and writing an account of bygone days. Sometimes this part of writing, this form of writing is also called writing from memory. Writing from memory. Many famous writers use their memories as the resources for their, new writings, and what they write is more or less kind of personal narrative. And we have a special term for that kind of narrative, and we call it memoir. The kind of writing we call it memoir. So today I'm going to show you how to write a short memoir. So let's start. We are now going to learn something called writing from the memory. In order to do this, I want you to, recall one of the interesting past experiences. I want you to recall one of those, interesting past experiences. And I want you to use all or most of the sensory details. What that means is I want you to write more like from the body. Write the experience using all different kind of sense organs. So you don't have to cover each and every one of them, but it's good if you use, most of them. I also want you to be unbiased. What that means is I want you to write fairly. Now, some of you may had, some bad experiences in the past and you are trying to hide it away from the people. But this is more like a diary writing. Nobody's going to read your writing from the memory. It's for you. So you can write all those bad experiences of the past, all those bitter memories, and write fairly, write freely. No need to hide anything. All right. And the last thing I want you to do is I want you to be fair. What that means is I want you to be. Now, being judgmental is sometimes a good thing, but while writing from the memory, you should not be judgmental, because being judgmental is more like, stigmatizing the bad things that you once did in the past. It is more like criticizing all your negative things, and it is surely going to harm your creativity. To write creatively, what you are now going to do is you are going to recall one of the interesting past experiences. It could be very good experience, or it could be, worse experience, something like that. You can use all or most of the sensory details. So you can use the details of vision, detail of hearing, detail of touch, smell. So things like vision, touch, smell, sound, feel. So you can use these sensory details. After that, what you need to do is you need to write unbiased, in an unbiased form. You need to write fairly and you need to write freely without any restrictions. So just go with the flow. And the last advice is, do not be judgmental. No need to judge your own, past mistakes. No need to judge your own failures. So that way you're only, accumulating the negativity in you. You're not letting the positivity come inside you. To let the positivity come inside, you have to be unbiased and you should not be judgmental. All right? Let's start from the example that's given in the book. Alright, this is just a sample paragraph. It is not so great. It is not that bad either. So this is just a sample. It is just an example. It is about writing about the memory. So how did I do it? Let's read. When I was 8 years old, I used to play the skipping rope game. Do you remember your skipping rope game? You probably called it skipping, but skipping is a verb, not a noun. So the proper word should be skipping rope game with my friends at school. One day, while I was playing, I suddenly got entangled on the rope. I lost my balance and tripped over. So entangling and tripping over. My nose was badly broken and a loose stream of blood came out. I was terrified, but my friends were laughing at me all that time. So this is what I call by being unjudgmental. So you are writing so this is what I mean by writing freely. Writing freely. There should be no restriction, there should be no biasness. So no restriction. You should let your ideas guide you. You should let your words guide you, and you should not be controlling your inspiration. What that means is, you should not try to hold back some of your thoughts and write only about the good things. You should equally write about the bad things. Here, in this paragraph, all of the friends were laughing, but I was terrified. What that means is, you're being honest. You're trying to show, the real thing. One thing is missing in this paragraph. I have not included much of the sensory details, but while you write, you should do. Sensory details are very significant. So the details of vision, what were the people doing, the details of sound, what kind of sounds did you hear, the smell, what did you smell at the time, how was the blood like, what was the taste of blood like, how did the blood smell, something like that. So you should include these sensory details also. Let's continue with this paragraph. Let's continue writing this. But my friends were laughing at me all that time. And let's go on with this idea. So this is just another sample. After that, I got up, and looked around. Got up and looked around. There means the happy faces of my friends. Their happy faces made me mad. Now this is feeling, I could feel, now we have feeling. I could feel the anger rise in my heart. So the anger was rising in my heart. The blood now tasted bitter. So what is the normal taste of blood? It's salty, But this time the blood is bitter because of anger. Seething with anger and hatred, I walked back to my classroom, grabbed my school bag, and sauntered across the yard all the way to my home. So this shows the random motion, very fast motion. I walked back to my classroom, grabbed my school bag, and sauntered across the yard all the way to my home. So this is very rapid movement. That's why we used lots and lots of commas. All the while, I was muttering words of hatred. I was full of hatred, and I was, using language obscene. I was cursing. I was scolding everyone. And that's that. I was doing that. So this is just an imaginary paragraph. Writing freely is the main idea here. You've got to write freely. You should not hold your emotions back. You should not think that, oh God, if I write this, what would my friend think? Oh, I cannot probably write that, because if I write that, what would my family think about me? So if you start thinking about your writing like that, your internal editor is always going to stop you. So shut that internal editor and write freely. Write powerfully. That's the whole idea of writing. With this, we have come to the end of today's class. Now I'm going to give you some homework as usual. Your homework is... So this is going to be your homework. Do you remember your childhood days? Of course, you should remember. You must remember your childhood days, mustn't you? Now, do you still have the same habits that you had in your childhood? Of course not. Things are changed. Life is dynamic. Life is not static like that. We are humans. We have changed a lot. So we do not have those old habits. Now everything's changed. Write an account of your childhood experience. What that means is write a memoir about your childhood experience. It's more like a memoir of your childhood experience. Write about your childhood. How was it? Was it happy? Was it very sad? Was it rich? Was it poor? Was it enjoyable? Was it boring? Pathetic? With those adjectives, you can actually, redefine your life. What do you think about your life? What do you think about your childhood life? So think about your childhood life and your experiences that you had when you were a kid. Write about that, and that's your homework for your memoir writing. With this, we have come to the end of today's class. If you have any questions or suggestions regarding this video series, feel free to write us at learning@deerwalk.edu.np. Thank you.